Hello, LinkedIn. Welcome to our new live. This is a special day for me because it's my birthday and I have a super cool guest to share with you. Mike Rizzo, how you doing? Welcome to our LinkedIn Live and thank you for honoring us with your presence here, man.
Thanks for having me on your birthday. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm the special person right now. I get to hang out with you on your birthday. So
I'm happy to. And dude, you're so cool and I want to share what you do.
thanks.
So I don't know if a lot of people here really understand what marketing operations is. Mike, you lead a community, okay, which I love. Relationships are everything to me. You lead a community of marketing operations. I don't want to steal your thunder, even though I love what you do. Can you share with us a little bit about marketing ops, what you guys do, how you help so many people in our industry, our profession? Take it away, Mike. Tell us about marketingops.com.
Sure. Yeah. Marketingops.com is a place for current and aspiring marketing operations professionals, or for those of you in the B2C category, you might think of yourselves more as life cycle marketers, as well as a few other roles, right? Marketing automation experts, etc. It's a place for you to come and hang out and talk shop with other professionals in your field. We do have a community of over 6,100 folks hanging out in Slack, talking about all things MarTech and go-to-market. We also host events on a now annual basis. So we just got done with Mopsapalooza, which was last week, but we have another event that's going to come up in 2025 for you to come and hang out and do exactly that, elevate your career in marketing operations. And really just the whole point of what we're doing is to help protect and elevate the role of a go-to-market marketing automation and marketing operations professional. So, if you are passionate about implementing tools and technology to help companies achieve their go-to-market goals, this is a really great place for you to come and learn from other people who've been
So
there and done that.
I love that. So this is really education that I think is so important, and very few people, maybe only you guys, really give it. Talk to our people. What do you educate there? What people need to learn? And I'll take this off the screen so we can focus on you. But Mike, share with us, what are we going to learn in this in an event like this?
Yeah, I mean, in events inside the community, inside of our chapters, we have local chapters where people meet up and talk shop on a regular basis. Really, it's everything from the nitty gritty nerdy stuff. So we're talking like, what are the naming conventions and systems you put in place to better understand how your campaigns are running, right? What are your UTM conventions and processes, and how do you standardize a process to better track your campaign effectiveness, and other things like templates and systems for, well, if I'm going to go implement a new piece of technology or make an investment, how do I source the right questions to be able to ask the vendors what I need to make a better informed decision? You'll also come to these events and learn a little bit about some cutting edge stuff, right? I don't think we can escape AI ever again. So you'll hear from
Not on
people that
this
are,
live, my friend. Definitely not on this live. We'll escape AI. We'll definitely talk some AI.
yeah. And so you'll be able to come and talk about, well, how are people leveraging AI in go to market, right? And marketing operations in general. We saw all of those different kinds of sessions at our conference just last week, but we also see them on a recurring basis in the community, back and forth in Slack threads, as well as in webinars and just in live in-person meetups. I'd say the last thing though, this is about your career, right? Like, it's about you. It's not just about the companies that you work for. And so this is also a really important place to come and talk to people about, well, how do I advocate for growing my team or becoming a senior leader or earning additional income? And so we produce annual research every year to help with exactly that. Our State of the MoPro research is a benchmark study that tells you, how are people being measured? How do companies think about leveraging these teams for the betterment of their go-to-market efforts? How do I stack up relative to my peers in my field? Am I making enough money compared to them at relative company sizes, right? Just because you're at a startup making X doesn't mean you shouldn't be making more. Well, why don't you go check out the research and see if you can advocate for yourself? And so we do a lot of that too, is to just figure out how to best support the community in their career growth journey.
That's amazing. So I love communities. I love interaction. I love person to person. COVID was actually really hard on me on that. I love when people come together to share knowledge to better one another. And as it's my birthday, I'm going to shout out somebody. I just got this really cool thing. I showed it to you kind of backstage, Mike. So I did a speaking for this amazing organization, Financial Narrative, that very much like you brings together communications experts in the financial industry and brings people together to learn, to grow. And they had such an amazing event. And of course, I was speaking about AI there. So guys, check this out. Financial Narrative, Ashley Jones, thank you so much. This is the cutest thing ever. I don't know if you guys
see so with the cool.
So they created this guy for me, and I don't know if you can see it. Actually wears what I wore in the speaking. Financial Narrative, thank you. This was so cute. My kids loved it. My wife loved it. And when you bring people together, and then when you think about cool things like that, that just makes the relationship so special. So I know you guys do a lot of special things for your community, and you kind of bring a lot of people together. Now, how much have you grown? Can you tell us the journey? Because it's amazing how you started something from nothing and how you're growing it and you're throwing these events. For the people that are watching us, can you share with them how you grew this? I think it will be very interesting for our audience.
For sure. Yeah. First I want to start by saying none of this was planned. So, there's a lot of organizations. Community was a really hot topic, and community led was a hot sort of button item just within the last 3 years or so. We've seen that sort of dwindle a little. But when we talk about being a community led organization, we really mean it. So I started this Slack channel because I was a team of one. And in many cases, folks that are running marketing technology platforms are often a team of one. We see that from our research. And for me, it was very selfish. I was getting a little tired of having challenges and trying to talk to my peers at my organization about those challenges. And, frankly, their eyes would roll back in their head like, I am bored. I don't care, right? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. They're not my problems. They're your problems. You go figure it out. They weren't rude about it, of course, but it was clear, like,
in a way, like it wasn't something you wanted to dive into.
Exactly. Right. And so I started this little Slack channel, wrote a blog post about it on Medium, and this was in 2017. And so by 2019, there was a shift in the market, and there was clear desire for more of this type of communication to take place. And people started asking me to come hang out in the Slack channel. And so, being in automation, I figured out a way to automate the invite process a little bit more. And we started growing at about 110 people a month in 2019 into our Slack. And that number has been very consistent ever since then. And so it's really evolved over time. I had line of sight on marketingops.com because someone used to run a community on that domain back in the day. And eventually I was able to go acquire that domain and make MoPros, the community, the official community of marketingops.com. And all of it is because we said, hey, you're all hanging out here in Slack. Like, what do we do? What should we do next? Like, let's not be bored and, just not have a space that's valuable to folks. Let's actually create content and engage each other and learn from each other. And eventually, conferences were born, research was born, courses were created, membership programs were created, and so on and so forth. So really, it's been a labor of love from not just myself, but many others in the community who are very passionate about the way that they stumbled into marketing operations and making sure that we don't have people just accidentally fall into the role anymore. We would like people to pick this as a career path.
Love that. And I agree with you. I don't think a lot of people come in and say, I want to be in marketing operations, but it's a brilliant and fascinating topic, industry, knowledge. Hamad here is asking, how can marketing operation leverage data and analytics to drive better decision-making? Can you answer, Hamad?
Sure. Yeah, Hamad, it's a good question. I don't think that there's a silver bullet answer. Is there another term for that? I don't know. I don't know that there's the perfect answer for this, but what I can say is, as a marketing operations professional, you often have access to a lot more data than most people do inside of an organization. And by that, I mean, you're usually privy to the integration between the two core systems, right? Your sort of marketing engine, the things that are coming in from above the funnel, right? Analytics views, to entering your top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, all the way into your CRM, right? Because as they enter the bottom of the funnel, they're clearly starting to talk customer and deals and renewals and all those things. That means that at your fingertips, you have the ability to use probably your best trait, which is your curiosity, and try to go look for signals around what's going on inside of this business and how could I better support my sales team or my product team. If you're on the B2C side, what am I seeing from an analytics and a trends perspective to help them help us create a better customer buying experience? And so I think the best way to leverage data and analytics inside of a business as a marketing ops professional is to get curious and don't stay too far inside of your lane of just executing a campaign, right? Like every day there's a backlog of constant, I got to get the next email out. I got to enrich the list. I got to, fix this thing that broke. Set aside some intentional time to take advantage of the visibility you have across your analytics and your tech stack and get curious and start pulling out insights and say, hey, look what I found. What do you think of this? Let's have a conversation. And you'll start driving more strategic impact that way.
I love that. A forward question for me: how does AI get into this? Like, how does AI change the way you do things in marketing ops?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think it's evolving still naturally. We're getting more and more exposure to AI and AI's capabilities now. There's some discussions that have been had in the community broadly, and I would say, we're all learning how to be prompt engineers now, right? And the more that you know about your unique fingerprint of your business, the better you will be at using AI to advance your sort of analysis, right? And we all know that like things like ChatGPT and different AI tools, they can hallucinate a little bit. So it's always going to be an exercise with caution because, it might not quite get the right answer. But if you know your business and you know which key properties and data points really matter to your organization, you can start to ask AI to help you do the analysis. Obviously, get your company's approval if you're at a larger organization, because you don't want to just upload your data to whoever's cloud, right?
No.
But I do think starting to look at, all right, well, what do I know about this organization, and what can I leverage AI to do to help me answer my questions faster, right? Because it can parse through data a whole heck of a lot faster than a human can. So
absolutely. So a couple of things for what you were saying. So there are two kinds of AIs. There are AIs that just open and go through whatever the web, and the web is full of crap, so you're going to get some crap back. What I recommend to companies is close a knowledge base. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is a knowledge base? Imagine like a very secure website that nobody has access to, that you actually fill with all of your information, your tone, your images, your writing, your goal, your vision, your mission, your team, all of that. And then let that AI get instructed by that knowledge base. Don't just let the AI go search the web, because you're going to get some nonsense back. Then you touched on prompting. I want to share some prompting tips. Okay, we've been doing AI for 5 years now, so you can use AI to help you to prompt. What do I mean by that? So, Mike, let's say you come up with a prompt. Okay, you're like, hey, create something for whatever it is. Okay, before you ask anything of that prompt, copy paste that prompt. Okay. And ask ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever engine you use, act as a prompt engineer. Analyze, improve this prompt, and give me suggestions on how I can make it better. So that will give you so much meat and bones into how to improve your prompt. Okay. Then after you do that, take that prompt to another engine. So you used ChatGPT, now go use Anthropic's Claude. Okay. And tell Claude, hey, this is something I received. Can you analyze and try to improve this to get better goals? And ask me at least 10 questions to make it happen. The more you give to your prompting, the more you'll get out of it. So use AI to help you prompt, use other AIs. You know, every AI engine has good things and bad things. Okay. So for instance, I find, have you ever tried Anthropic's Claude, that AI engine?
I haven't tried that yet, actually.
Try it. If we get anything out of this, try it. It's free. It writes more emotionally. Like, I feel like it's more of a feminine mind than a male mind, which I feel ChatGPT kind of has, that it's very
Like rigid.
yes. So Claude does. Gemini works a little bit differently. Everything has its pluses and its minuses, but don't be afraid to, like, you know, use them to learn from each other. Don't be afraid to take something you just created with ChatGPT and put it into Gemini and say, hey, I just created this. Give me suggestions to improve this, or analyze this for ways I can make it better. So work with different things. And then that question thing, Mike, is huge. Every time you do a prompt, let the AI know, I'm trying to write a prompt about this. This is my goals. Ask me at least 10 questions, and then, help me create the best prompt possible. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think those are all really good tips for sure. In general, when you're trying to work through how to best leverage these tools, it's actually unintuitive, which is funny, right? Like, as humans, I would come to you and I would say, hey, could you give me some advice on how to do this? Because I think you're an expert in this field. And the irony is, like, you can totally do that with these tools and say, how can I best leverage you to it? Like, expert in a particular field, and you'll start to get stuff back, right? I also, when I'm trying to prompt it for something, I often will over explain myself, almost like I'm explaining it to someone who's never done it, like they're an intern, right? And they're brand new to marketing. And I say, this is the outcome that I'm trying to achieve. Here are the key data points that I'd like you to touch on, et cetera. From there, I often get a really good jumping off point for, I don't know, maybe a blog post or some analysis that I want to do. And usually I don't use it, raw out of the box, right? I'll usually take it from there and sort of put it in my voice. But I'm also teaching these tools, right? I'm creating my own GPT, for example, on my particular style. Not just me, but also our brand. We have a brand voice and tone and guideline. And at least, yeah, you have to over-explain. Yeah, I think it's better to over-explain. We actually uploaded our brand's tone and voice guidelines. And now every time we're going to execute on a campaign, we feed it more samples of emails that are being successful. And we say, hey, keep learning from this. And now as we want to go draft a new campaign, can you draft, a webinar outline or brief or an email campaign for the next, Mopsapalooza ticket sales? And it does an excellent job of meeting our standards. And again, giving us that jumping off point for our team to move a lot quicker, and stay lean. So I think all of those things are tremendously helpful. Our annual research, right? AI, when you all in your organizations, if you're doing thought leadership stuff or you have white papers or what have you, let's shift the perspective just from marketing for a second and think about how you could enable your sales teams, right? Imagine for a moment that you create your own private, GPT or whatever tool you're using, and you upload every single piece of documentation on a white paper or a product that you have. And you say, hey, sales team, the next time you get a complex question about, does a product do XYZ, or are we capable of ABC? Here's this custom model we built with all of our case studies in it. And if you want it can link you to those case studies, give you pull quotes, and allow you to go build an email to answer your new prospects' questions. Right? Like, just step outside and think about creating products from your own knowledge, to your point, right? Knowledge base, and let your teams run with that stuff. You can use that across the board.
Love that. We take it a step further. Okay.
Yeah.
So most of the companies that we work with can't use, a GPT, because a lot of the stuff they have is proprietary knowledge. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. If it's all online, yes, you can use it. But if it's not, and you need to put some of the instruction, the internal stuff, you can't use just an open AI. So we take it a step further and we build a knowledge base like the GPT you're doing on steroids. We defend it, protect it, put legal in there, terabytes of knowledge. And now that the AI, our proprietary AI, works from their knowledge base. And then if need be, also goes online to find what it needs to find. But I truly agree with you. Now think about this, Mike. Everybody's using ChatGPT. You know what you guys are doing? You're building ChatGPT database and you're building ChatGPT, which is great. Love ChatGPT. I use it every day. Okay. But what we help companies with, companies now want to grow. Most companies, or a lot of companies, want to grow their valuation and want to be sold. Instead of relying on a third party and just, creating a GPT where you're giving that data completely as a set to GPT to work and train on, basically there is better ways to do it. And when you build it inside your tech stack, you're raising the valuation of your company. Because now inside your tech stack, there is an internal AI that helps you create stuff. So I've worked with companies, dozens of them, and I've seen this raise valuation. So I want people out there to think about this. Yes, you can use AI for your benefit, but you can also use AI for your benefit and to raise your valuation. Because as long as using a tool, you're building that tool. You're building the data sets of that tool. You're building the valuation of that tool, which is great. Okay, like I use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, as I told you to use. I use it every day. Mm-hmm. But you gotta understand that if you want to build valuation into your company, bringing that into your tech stack, it may be slightly more money to start with, but it's something that's going to create so much more value for you. And another point, you were talking about the context stuff. I love that. And I truly believe women are better AI users than men because women give more context and they like to speak more. They like to describe the situation. My wife says that men speak 7,000 words on average compared to 20,000 plus that women speak. So women that have experience, to me, are the super users of AI. And I want to encourage as many women out there to have fun, play with AI, build a GPT, then graduate to their own knowledge base. But there's so much to gain from AI, but not just in the use case and what you can get out of it, but how you can grow your own company. And I want to drill this into people's minds, Mike. I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really valid point to make around this idea that AI inside of an organization, as you build your own proprietary data sets and use cases for AI, you will inevitably increase your ability to go to market and your value. And figuring out how to articulate that to the would-be buyers and the investors and the boards of the world, I think is still TBD because it's all sort of greenfield at this point. But I do believe that your ability to productize your data is absolutely critical to your organization. Many moons ago, I wrote about how an organization, or how I believed organizations could be better serving their customers through their own data. And this is well before AI was at the forefront of any of our conversations. And it wasn't an AI insights or, epiphany or anything I was having, but it was really just about, what do you know about your customers? And how do you share that information back to your would-be customers or your current customers to enable them to have more success? So a concrete example of that is, and this is just, again, reemphasizing the point that today this is easier than it was before, right? But I was at an organization once known as Maven Link. It is now known as Cantata. And I was sitting with one of the co-founders and I said, wouldn't it be great if we aggregated the information about our customer base? And so this product, by the way, is a services project resource management delivery product, right? So it knows things like average runtime of a deliverable for a marketing agency, right? Like how long does it take to build up a new thing? What are the bill rates for these folks? How many tasks on average are there? Where are they located? Are they global, US based, et cetera? Imagine for a second if we were able to surface that information back into our product, right? And say, hey, Zev, I see that you're located in XYZ part of the country. Did you know that for your developer level 2 bill rate, on average, compared to the rest of the customers in our database, they bill for this, and it seems like you're about 10% lower? Maybe you should bill a little bit more. It's stuff like that can be done even easier today with these tools and pulled back into your product to enable them to have more success. It goes beyond building the tool. And it's like, yeah, look at these great features and functionality we built you. It's no. We're helping you run your business in a new way. We're helping you think about your products and your services and the things that you're doing in an entirely new manner, because we have a unique perspective of you and everybody else that's using these tools. Right. So I think it's a spot on comment to make about just using these tools to better enable your business's valuation.
I'll do a funny comparison. I compare AI to like hiring a person. And what is very, common in the market right now is VAs, right? So now like everybody wants to sell you a VA, virtual, remote, American, Filipino, whatever, whoever. So getting an AI, or using ChatGPT or even a GPT is basically an EA that barely knows you and is basically working on, like best business practices, whatever. When I work with an assistant or my chief of staff or anybody, they need to know me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like before they do anything on my behalf, they need to know me. If not, huge mistakes will happen because I'm very particular. So it's like the difference of just having some generic, VA from the Philippines that is really nice and really trying, but doesn't know anything about you, your product, what you're doing, trying to piece stuff together, or having somebody that knows you, have read everything you've ever written before, have read the rules and regulations, your history, legal department, all this stuff, team, like internal evaluations of how we think about each other, talents, personality evaluations for all the team and you and leadership. That tool can serve you, I'm not exaggerating, at least 10 times better, if not 100 times better.
Yeah.
That tool just knows you intimately. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I have tools that I've shared so much information with. I ask him to write something. I was like, did I write this or the tool write? I don't know, because the tool knows me.
Yep. That's exactly right. I have a good friend, Andrea, who is, she's a leader at an organization known as GNW. And she recently joined back in with them. And she was sharing with me at our conference last week that she's basically taken everything that she's done, that she did over about a 10-year span in her past role, and consolidated all of that stuff into her own model. And now she's leveraging it to help this new organization accelerate their growth and learn from the lessons that she's already captured, right? Even faster, because it knows her way and her learnings and her unique stuff. And she can literally just query it at any given time and let the whole team run. It's actually really, really amazing.
100%. And the more you do it, and I'll say one last thing that I very rarely hear. A lot of people rely on LLMs and large language models. Okay. Now you got to understand that these are vast data sources that are mainly or mostly wrong. Okay. And when you rely on something like that, you're always going to have mistakes. We do a lot of things with CNN, with convolutional neural networks. It's basically a way to have an AI look at only one lane and get amazing in that lane, and kind of like a brain, keep on learning, growing, getting better, but for that lane. And then we add lanes together to work together. But I think a lot of companies are trying to have AIs do too much. Okay. So if anybody, CNNs are the way of the futures, and CNN have a way to visually help you more than just look at what you're writing. Does that make sense? So if you have some kind of doc, financial doc, marketing, all those things, like a CNN can visually help you. Like if there's something wrong, and we're talking docs, it can do images, it can do videos, it can do all kinds of things that an LLM. So LLM is kind of like huge but mediocre at everything. Okay. And a CNN is very direct and grows and gets amazing. And I believe focus is a superpower in life, in business, in marketing. So CNNs are something, I want people to look at. Is it simple or inexpensive to build? No, but it's so worth it. It's the way of the future.
Yep. I love it. It's all good insights.
So let me share your website, and then I would love for you to tell people how they can join, your amazing community, and give us a little bit of knowledge of how they can reach out to you, to the community. Maybe share a little bit about Mopspalooza 2025.
Yeah, for sure. Before we, sorry, I just want to make one more comment about the AI stuff too.
Absolutely.
Before we go into our programs on marketingops.com as well, for those of you that are looking at AI use cases and are a little bit worried about security, I would encourage you. I have no idea what's happening to the website right now, by the way. This big black splotch that's going on is concerning me.
I'll take it down. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. No, I'm like, what happened to the website? There's a product that'll be basically coming to market pretty quickly here that I'm familiar with, called Magic Mirror. And so we talked at the top of the AI segment around just protecting the data. It makes a ton of sense. If you were to go to Magic Mirror Security, I would encourage you to look at that. It is a new and innovative way to help protect the information that you are putting into an AI tool. And effectively, think about, for those of us in marketing operations and marketing in general, we all know what a personalization token is. Think of it that way, right? It's layering on the ability for us to redact information that's sensitive and still get the benefit of the AI. So just
very cool.
There's some cool stuff happening out there around this, just to help us take advantage of the tools without worrying about security as much, right? So
thank you for the education. And now share how people can reach out to you and your community, join in the events. Please share about what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were to join us at marketingops.com, you can visit the website and take a look at what we've got going on. We have a couple of different membership models. There's the Pro tier and the Pro Plus tier. Each of them gets you access to different things. At this moment in time, you are still able to come hang out with us in Slack at no cost. I can't promise that'll be around forever, but it is still around today. So if you just want to dip your toe in and see what the community is all about, you're more than welcome to do that and join us in Slack. If you do join as a pro member, it unlocks some benefits like one-on-one matchmaking effectively. So you just get to automatically meet other professionals in your field and just make new friends and talk shop. No pressure, right? And that's a really great advantage. You also get—
How do you join your Slack, Mike? Like how do you join your Slack? How do you do it?
Yeah, if you go to marketingops.com and effectively hit the subscribe page, once you finish creating your free profile, you will be prompted with a form to request an invite to the Slack channel. Once that's all done, you'll get the link and you'll be able to join us in Slack, no problem. So it's a pretty easy and seamless process. Once you join, you'll be automatically added to a number of channels, everything from hiring and Hire Me, so like jobs that are being created, the tech stack channel. You've got marketing automation platform specific channels for things like HubSpot, Marketo, Pardot, Eloqua, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you name it. So I would encourage you, if you do join, go seek those channels out. There are local channels as well, so you can join local sort of groups, Salt Lake City, Chicago, Los Angeles, you name it. And so there's plenty of much to take advantage of. As you unlock your membership, though, more and more things become available to you, inclusive of templates and access to exclusive content for our members only. So this is everything from our past conferences and summer camps, live training, and education as well.
That's amazing. So everybody, please follow Mike, follow Marketing Ops, come to Mopspalooza. This is a great community. I'm going to join the Slack. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. And this has been such an awesome discussion, man. I think building communities like yours is so powerful, and it's not easy. Building it from scratch is not easy. And I've built a lot of things from scratch. And, everybody thinks you're like an overnight success. They don't see all the falls. But what you guys have done is amazing. I love it. Huge fan. Everybody, please follow them, get there. And then just on a completely joke, funny plug, today's my birthday. I'm accepting Bitcoin. I'll put on the bottom. As much as you can send, we'll appreciate it. I'm just joking, everybody, but it's such a pleasure having you on my birthday. I'm going to go have some fun. But dude, what you do is amazing. And everybody follow Mike, follow Marketing Ops, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Zeb.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.